How do I think it's going to end? Well, it depends on how powerful the praise singers are. Everybody eventually dies. They have to drink the hemlock, or something's going to happen that's going to take that person out. And they're no longer going to be able to. He looks almost like Kim Jong-un there in the face, but like a white version of Kim Jong-un, right? That is really the problem that we face right now. If you're looking about reaching the peak or the abyss of the propaganda, right, where you've reached a point now with the praise singers that what do you do when the person you've been praising literally cannot walk a straight line, form a logical sentence? And what happens to the praise singers? Well, they could double down, which is what we're seeing in the White House press briefings, right? They're doubling down and talking about how unbelievably healthy he is and how he is fulfilling this legacy of being the next.
Saving the country. Thank you for saving the country.
Yes, God bless the praise singers. God bless the praise singers. Will it be able to survive? Will it be able to survive? They covered up for Ronald Reagan for a very, very long time, right? They were able to, he had nothing left of his brain when he left. Within a very short amount of time, they were showing him pictures of the White House, and he had no idea. All he knew was that it was an important place and it might have had something to do with him. And that was all that was left of his brain within a year or two after he had left the White House. And yet they were still able, the praise singers were still able to make him look like the greatest president that ever was. Well, a lot of people did the same thing with Bill Clinton. I think Bill Clinton was one of the worst presidents, and I'm a Democrat, and I voted for him twice. But now in hindsight, looking back at the policies of Clinton and sending all those jobs to China, it really destroyed our country. And it really did. If you're a strong supporter of unions, I mean, he was one of the people that broke the backs of the unions. So Democrats in the White House, there's the emperor. Well, her name is, then there's Nancy. I call her Nancy. So it's interesting, the relationship between Nancy Pelosi and Donald Trump, because Nancy Pelosi is the mother that Donald Trump never had. He can terrorize people so that they're running around trying to make him happy, but he's never had anybody who's not intimidated, who treats him like a fifth grade teacher, which is exactly what he needs, and says, okay, the recess is over. Everyone take your seats now. Nancy Pelosi's in session. Don't underestimate the power I bring to this table. Now take a seat. That energy is something that Trump actually respected. And there's a part of him that has a strange codependent relationship on strong women. I call her Nancy, right? He's afraid to speak ill of her because, now, young man, I heard what you said. Take a seat. We're going to have a little conversation. There's a part of Trump that really likes that. You look at his interaction with Stormy Daniels, where he liked being spanked. He liked her taking that rolled newspaper magazine and spanking him. He pulled his pants down for her, right? Got a little spanking. This is the weird dynamic you get with Donald Trump and women, particularly women in positions of power. He hates women and he simultaneously longs to be controlled by them. And so this is, Nancy Pelosi often presents as the Queen of Cups, but he has this, if he's inviting Democrats, he's inviting Pelosi, he's inviting these people because there's a part of him that fears not being liked. You don't like me anymore? Why don't they like me? There is a real feeling that this guy needs to be liked. And particularly, he wants to be liked by Pelosi. He wants to be, there are certain people, certain Democrats, there it is, the Six of Cups. I knew that was coming in because this was a feeling of this woman next to me is my opposition and she's the Queen of Cups. She's a dreamer. She's got a heart. And there he is with the Six of Cups. You could come visit me in the White House, right? So it's this fear of, he has a real fear of not being liked. Anything for you, baby, 10 of Cups. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think that the White House needs to come in and they need to give him what he wants. He is the unhappy man, right? Ace of Swords over him. He will be brutal. If you hurt me and break my heart, I'm going to take the sword, attempting a healing. It's weird that he wants to talk with Pelosi. That's what I'm feeling. I think everything's going to be okay. I think the Democrats are going to be able to break this. That 10 of Cups and that 9 of Pentacles could indicate some kind of confidence coming in. And this weird obsession he has with Pelosi and women in positions of power. Interesting. Women that aren't intimidated by him. It does something. It's something that he seems to desire. Yeah, so that was really sweet. Thank you, Jonathan. Okay, good to spend time with you too. Yeah, he's not sleeping well. Let's go ahead and take a look at Trump's health. He is not fit mentally or physically. Well, that's the whole conversation, right? How much are they going to cover for this guy before we have to admit that this guy is just not in good shape? He is not in good shape. I wanted to announce at 5 o'clock tonight, Introduction to the Tarot. I'll be posting Introduction to the Tarot. If elders and empaths, if you would, oh no, excuse me, it's not. It's Introduction to Remote Viewing at 5 o'clock tonight. I'm sorry. It's our remote viewing, heart-centered remote viewing. If you'd like certification and training on how to be a remote viewer, it starts tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it's open to anybody who's at the elders and empaths level. Yeah. Okay, not fit mentally and physically. He's losing power. He's also got that 2 of Swords that keeps coming up. His knee-jerk reaction to everything Trump is this 2 of Swords, this refusal to cooperate, this his opposition has the power. That's interesting. I see a major crash coming for him in the next couple of weeks. Some kind of a mental crash or a crash in the White House as power is slipped away and in the hands of his opponent. Things are moving. The next 2 or 3 weeks, we will see major changes happening with Donald Trump and his mental health. And we see major changes happening in the next 2 to 3 weeks inside the White House to our benefit, but not to the benefit of Donald Trump. His opposition has the power. Magician is in the house of opposition. His hope and fear, 2 of Swords. When he doesn't know what to do, he sits down like a little kid in the middle of Walmart and refuses to move. So people are going to have to literally walk over his body and just get back to work. Yeah. 2 to 3 weeks from now, things are going to be looking very different in the White House, and there's a crash coming for Trump. Was cutting off SNAP and letting poor people go hungry Trump's idea or Miller's? It's always Trump. Trump's a psychopath, and he sees himself as the true victim, right? Stubborn. There it is again, that Four of Cups. I don't want it. You can't make me. Yeah. There's the SNAPs benefits. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? Look at the positioning there. They're hoping to shut it down entirely because the goal is they think that we're going to get out of debt by cutting all social programs. Like he said, our plan is we'll just give you some money and then you can pick your own doctor. We'll give you $1,000 a year to cover your health expenses. In plainer words, nobody gets health insurance. It's all out of pocket. That's Trump's plan because we don't want to pay for it. I don't want to pay for your health care. I want that golf course in Scotland. It's not making any money, right? That is the mindset. The goal eventually of the Republicans is to remove all what they call entitlements. That means your Social Security is gone. Your health care is gone. Your SNAPs, public education, they've gone after the Department of Education, right? So, delusion. Their plan is no plan. There is no plan. Shut it down, erase it. It doesn't exist anymore. You're on your own. Pay your taxes. We got to get out of debt. 50%, 60%. You're going to pay your taxes. Pay them debts off, right? What are you getting in return? Slavery. Get back to work, boy, right? So that is basically what they're saying. Eat your pickled herring and stop complaining, right? It's kind of like My Life as a Dog. Did you ever see, was that what it's called? My Life as a Dog? Or was it Pele the Conqueror? No, it was Pele the Conqueror. Did you ever see the movie Pele the Conqueror? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Do we have to get a boat and go find freedom somewhere else? Because that's the world that they want to build for us. Yeah. So when you go back to this idea of cutting off SNAP, letting the people go hungry, yeah, that's what they want. They if either fake it or make it. SCOTUS rules against Trump on tariffs. What do you guys think of the tariffs? Do you think that the average American understands the consequences? I don't know. SCOTUS and tariffs. The businessman. The importing and exporting. So the businessman is being hurt. If it costs the businessman, it's a problem. And so the karmic consequences for the businessman. The King of Pentacles is the businessman. If it hurts the businessman, it will change things. Because they're the ones that run the United States, not the average person. You and I are just pay your taxes and don't complain. We bankrupted your country and you're not going to get anything. I think a lot of people are migrating outside the United States. That is basically what this looks like. This is just feels to me like movement. Three of Wands over the seas, jobs over the seas, Eight of Cups to leave everything, concern about money, marching into victory in the next 6 months. I think it's really important for us to be clear that that is precisely what they're trying to do, is to break the backs of democratic socialism. And so we have to be very clear, those of us who believe in democratic socialism, that this is a war on democratic socialism to make it out like it's something bad to treat people like people. And if we don't get organized and be very clear, and look, they've destroyed the unions. They've sent our jobs overseas. And by the way, the quality of the products clothing is not as nice as it used to be. Nothing is not, it's cheap and it's junk, and it's just created landfills filled with broken Chinese stuff that doesn't work. So it wasn't even stuff that that worked, right? It wasn't as good as the stuff we paid a little bit more for in the United States, right? So we didn't even get stuff that worked out of the deal, but they made money. And they were able to avoid paying high prices for their workers. It didn't matter that the stuff they were producing was crap now. Stephen Miller's future. Stephen Miller's. Stephen Miller's future is, what will happen to him? A tower awaits him. There's a big crash. There are people that have been focused. There are a lot of people trying to take him out. He's been called a Jewish Nazi in the sense that he's very messed up. He's like taking Nazi ideas, and he's Jewish. He's a very strange, screwed up guy. His opposition, the higher ethos, the Constitution. His hopes and fears that he will be successful over the next 6 months, and his final outcome, he will be increasingly controlled or contained. He's lost his wife. His wife ran off with Elon Musk. Oh my God. Did you hear what Gavin Newsom said to Stephen Miller? He said, "You're not winning. You're the guy sitting in the chair at the hotel, watch somebody else stoop your wife." Said that he was just some guy sitting in the chair of the hotel room watching somebody else sleep with your wife. So I would say things are going badly for him. He's got a tower. He's up against the Constitution. And also Eight of Swords would indicate that he's becoming increasingly unpopular, and he's going to be the scapegoat because it's his ideas that got him into this situation. And Eight of Swords would be possibly legally stymied. And that's kind of interesting. He's going to be disabled. He's going to have his power taken away from him. This is a guy that dreams of taking the world. There's a part of him that also wants a fight. Five of Wands, he wants conflict. There's a part of him that wants that. But I don't know if he's going to have much of a future. It looks like he's being controlled.